All right, let's get into it. Let's not waste too much time. Let's do it. It's going to take a minute. There we go. And thank you. Okay, let's do it.
Well, howdy there, Epic Lisbo again. So,
sorry. We're going to do our good old friend. We're going to review our good old friend, Mr. Boa of the Fifth Column, Mr. Justin King. It's been a little bit since we talked to him. Some videos I've wanted to cover about him, and others I just felt like, it's not worth it. I'm not going to cover every single video he does, but let's continue. Go ahead.
So tonight, we're going to talk about the coolest job, possibly the coolest job in the world, definitely the coolest job in the security industry. We're going to talk about the winds of change here in the South, and we're going to thank Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. I'm not joking. Okay, so for me, the coolest job in the world is being OPT4. Now, what that means is large companies or facilities or individuals that have large security staffs. At times, they will hire.
I didn't know they were called OPT4 in security. I didn't know that at all. I had no idea. Did anyone else have that idea? I had no idea that it was called that. There we go. And sorry, just messing with my microphone here. There we go. Okay. That way it'll be a little bit better and a little bit louder. Okay. Anyway, let's continue. I didn't know it was called OPT4. I had no idea it was called that. I thought that was just the military.
Individuals who are outside of their normal security staff to come in and provide a stress test to try to disrupt their security ecosystem so they can figure out what's wrong. And to be very clear about what I'm talking about here, when I say disrupt, I mean break it. I mean flat out break it. If this is your profession, if this is something you do, you can get hired to break into facilities, hired to take trucks, documents, snatch people, all depending on who your client is.
Snatch people. Oh, yeah. That sounds fun, doesn't it? What he is referring to, I think, is kind of that like Die Hard. Remember that Live Free or Die Hard, the one with Timothy Olyphant, when Timothy Olyphant, was a somewhat big actor. He's kind of faded a bit in time, but this is when he was big. It had Maggie Q. Can I get an Asian hooker bitch? Remember that? that was a funny bit of the movie. Anyway, but yeah. Huh. Okay, go ahead.
It provides an amazing tool for the permanent security staff. Now, most times they really don't like it when it's happening because it's embarrassing. It exposes all of their flaws. But if you have good people, they want to change it. They want to fix it. With that in mind, I would like to thank the President of the United States for playing that role for the U.S., for being OPT4, for being opposition force to the United States, because his rhetoric brought it all to the surface, highlighted every flaw, and it gave us a starting point. It showed us where we needed to put in some serious work. And the cool part,
a starting point. Okay, go ahead.
Is that we found out we have good people, because most Americans want the problems addressed. They want them fixed. It's amazing. At the end of the day, Donald J. Trump may actually end up making the country more progressive.
This is the same type of person who's going to be like, F the white working class secretly, because they don't exactly go his way. Yeah, go ahead.
Than anybody who ever actually set out to do it. It's cool. So thank you, Mr. President. Now, with that in mind, I would like to read a message from the Mississippi Historical Society. The Mississippi Historical Society enthusiastically and unequivocally supports changing the state flag. Our position comes out of acknowledgement that the inclusion of Confederate imagery on the flag in 1894 did not represent all Mississippians. The persistent use of Confederate imagery to signify opposition to civil rights and racial equality throughout the 20th century further underscores our position. We support retiring the current flag as a historical artifact and selecting a new one that will unify and not divide. So much for destroying history, right?
Well, that does kind of destroy history. Also, of course, what a punchable face. I'm sorry. Not realistically. I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying what a jagoff. The thing is, let's talk about some facts of Mississippi here. Let's go ahead and finish this little bit up that he says, and then I'm going to read some stats.
Now, the really cool part about this is that the state legislature's already acted on it. House and Senate in Mississippi, they already voted. They're getting rid of the Confederate imagery in the state flag. The governor said it's going to be signed.
Might as well just replace it with the gay flag. Might as well replace it with the rainbow flag. Might as well, but yeah, go ahead.
If you don't know anything about the South, and don't know the differences between the states here, just understand this is huge. It does not get more Old South than Mississippi.
The thing is that, I think, what was it? South Carolina did that a few years ago. It's like, the fuck are you even talking about? Also, let me look at some stats here for a minute. So this is News Channel 3. Okay, this is Memphis. Okay, Memphis, Tennessee. Oh, okay, so this is Tennessee trying to make themselves look better. Okay, so the state of Mississippi was named as the third worst state in the United States. Hold on. Thought someone was calling me. Okay. The rankings took into account each state's healthcare, education, economy, infrastructure, opportunity to residents, fiscal stability, state government, public safety, and natural environment. Mississippi ranked 48th overall, above only Alabama and Louisiana. Mississippi moved up one spot from 49th, where the state was in the ranking the past 2 years. Arkansas ranked 45th, and Tennessee was 30th. Okay, well, once again, they're trying to dab a little bit, it sounds like. Okay. Mississippi's worst scores were for the healthcare, 50, economy, 48, education, 46, infrastructure, 45 in categories. The state's highest score was for its natural environment, for which it placed 11th best, probably because Mississippi is still kind of, it was still more of a rural state. Mississippi, along with Louisiana, both, make a fair amount of money from fishing, from shrimping and, catching gators and stuff. Well, probably that's more Louisiana, but still. I'm just trying not to be sarcastic by saying it like Louisiana, but that's kind of how they pronounce it. Anyway, healthcare and education were weighed more heavily than other categories because, according to surveyors, residents cared about those issues the most. So there we go. And what's the full report say? Let me see here. Is it something I can download or? Okay, best state rankings. I wonder if this is where that one guy gets it. Okay, Washington State #1. That's ironic. Yeah. Once again, this is Anyway, you know what? I'm gonna keep it there. Okay, so that was kind of interesting. It's time for them to have all these little victories. Yeah, because the inherent problems are not fixable. Yeah. Just as they hoped the right would fight the left, Antifa and BLM over Apple and Target stores. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is a lot of cope. So let's go ahead and hear more of this.
I would imagine this is going to start a trend. Now, if you are one of those clinging to the past, I have an additional piece of information for you. This was mainly pushed by Republicans in Mississippi. Conservatives in Mississippi are ready for a change.
Well, because they want to be elected. You think that they, if you want to be so blunt and honest about it, you think that they're not racist? Of course they are. It's the same thing with people like Northam in, Virginia. They still feel the same way that they felt back then. It's just they put on a better facade. And once again, if you think that this is, something that, the conservatives feel this way, the Republicans feel this way, you're going to go right back to doing a video where you're going to say, well, it's the Republicans' fault. You did a video yesterday where you're talking about what, the whole business that Trump apparently ignored information that the Russians were paying, Taliban officials to kill U.S., servicemen. It's just, and you're going to say it's on the Republicans if they put it on them. So no, I don't care when you say conservative Republicans, it's them. Oh, well, it's the Republican. So no, I don't really care when you say that. Once again, I know that you're playing to your audience and you are just simply, you'll shit on them 1 minute and then you'll just try to dab on them another minute. I get it. But please don't try to fool me. Don't fool somebody that's, don't try to, run me game, man. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. I'm going to have to go to the Judge Judy here. But you're peeing on my leg and tell me it's raining. Okay, go ahead.
That shows you how outdated you are. Conservatives in Mississippi are done with it. It's time to let this go. People talk about the South rising again.
Once again, who cares about a fucking flag? Why don't you go help the infrastructure? You're not going to do that, though, are you? I just read out that Mississippi is near the fucking bottom in terms of healthcare and all these other things. Why don't you write fucking law and change that? Oh, no, we have to worry about the flag so it's more inclusive. No, that's called superficial. All right? Just because you put a brand new lick of paint on something, it can be rusted as all hell. It doesn't make a fucking difference. If you put, if you get like I'm just thinking like a Chevelle or something like that. I mean, I just picked that car out of thin air, but basically, like you have a Chevelle, rusted all to hell, but you paint it, guess what? And you don't even replace anything, it's still rusted out. That son of a bitch still going to break down, biggin'. So what the hell are you talking about when... Yeah, that's a cosmetic difference. Once again, this is kind of goes back to what I was saying. Is that a physical change or is it a chemical change? It's a physical change. That's all it is. That's not a the chemistry of Mississippi as it stands, or has to do with the government or change laws or getting better people to Mississippi. No, it has nothing to do with that. That's a purely, I'm going to say that one more time, a purely cosmetic change. That's not an actual change that's going to change people. And most people who are smart enough will realize that and be like, I don't give a shit about a flag. Why don't I get decent health care? Why can't I, leave my job where I'm, fishing for crawdads and, and doing that type of thing. But, anyway, go ahead.
This is it. This is it's happening. This is how it's going to go down. I know this isn't what most people meant when they said that. But this is the South rising again. Raising its standards, its levels of inclusion, its desire to move forward.
How is it? Once again, you said it's raising its standards, and then you immediately destroy that by saying inclusion. Just because you include more people does not make it more fair. It just means that, once again, it just is. It's like saying that it's socialism with a kinder face, or whatever the case may be. That's all this is. It's simply woke capitalism. That's all it is, you idiot. You're supposed to be an anarchist, and you're... Go ahead.
This is the South rising again. It doesn't get any more poignant than Mississippi deciding it's time to make the change. If you're still holding on, you are way behind the times. And this isn't really...
Once again, I don't really give a shit about a fucking flag. I'll tell you that right now. It's the same. Like I say, I was just talking about the third rail and everything else like that. We shouldn't give a shit about statues by this point. Go ahead, tear them all down. But what are you going to do after that, though? Because the statues, that's just the first step. What's going to happen after that? You weren't talking about that, are you? Well, so far it's just, some blind sort of, vague sort of notion of intersectionality. And it's like, an intersectionality, as we see, doesn't really work that well, does it? It just creates more division. But go ahead.
Slap at Mississippi, not in general. I know there are people who've been ready for this for a long, long time there, but the establishment in Mississippi has pushed against it. The fact that has changed is amazing. It is amazing. It's something I honestly didn't think I'd see in my lifetime, to be completely honest. Anyway, I know to those outside of the South, this may not seem like a big deal. It seems like it should be a given to get rid of it, right?
Well, even me being outside of Mississippi, I would say, Biggin, you better change some other things too. Why don't you change that healthcare? Why don't you change all those different sorts of things? But you ain't going to talk about that, are you? Go ahead.
It's not. It wasn't. This is huge. This is huge. And the fact that it was pushed by Republicans, that just makes it even bigger.
You're going to go back to shitting on Republicans in the next video. So we don't give a shit what would you say about that. We know that you're playing to your mostly boomer #resistance audience and everything, Anyway, go ahead.
And at the end of the day, we have Donald Trump to thank for this. He's the one that highlighted. He's the one who brought everybody out. Brought them out of the woodwork.
That's absolute bullshit. I'm not going to sit here, you're giving Trump way too much credit. This is slightly, once again, this is kind of like some shit lib type of stuff where it's just like, oh, well, Donald Trump helped with, making Mississippi a better state. No, he didn't. You're giving them too much credit. That's like saying, let me check here. Because I gotta check on this. Hold on. Let me see here. Was it South Carolina? Yeah, South Carolina Confederate flag. There we go. And when the hell was that taken down? Yeah, modern display of, okay. Who took down the Confederate flag in South Carolina? Okay, that was 2015. So that was during, do you hear people that say Obama? Well, thank you, Obama, for South Carolina getting rid of that evil, Confederate flag that was on our flag. I mean, that evil Confederate flag that was up there. No, they don't say that. They don't say that. Hold on. All right, let's finish this little bit up here. All right.
They didn't think it was okay to behave in this manner. And then normal people, good people, We're like, no. We honestly thought we left all that behind, or we were at least never going to talk about it again. If you're going to talk about it, we got to fix it. So I want to thank Donald Trump for providing that stress test, and I would like to thank conservatives in Mississippi, since I never thought I'd say, for starting to fix the door.
Oh, yeah. He's talked about that before. He said this, and let me just briefly say this, and then I'll finish this up. So he said that because he talked about that the folks were, he was talking about working with the Black Panthers and everything else. He says, well, they just want us to fix the door. They weren't talking about this and that. It's just, ridiculous. Yeah. Biggest mistake for Unite the Right was defending a Confederate statue, to be quite honest. Yeah. Because it was too awkward looking. Yeah. Jason Black criticized intersectionality, calling interracial sexual access, saying it does nothing to help the Black community. Yeah. I would say something else about Jason Black. I kind of forgot about Jason Black and the Black Channel for a minute, but I will mention this just for a moment before I finish this up. Is with Jason Black, he's very much, what someone would call kind of more of a pork chop nationalist. He talks more about, capitalism. He really fetishizes Jews. I mean, I try to say redacted on that one, but he really goes in all on that. And he talks about Europe as if it's some very progressive thing. And it's just like, well, Europe doesn't have Nazis anymore. Germany doesn't have Nazis anymore because of this. Oh, you're white supremacist. You should be put in jail and you should be killed. Yeah. So, I mean, I take Jason Black with a grain of salt. I mean, I just, I've heard much more radical stuff, but I can respect Jason Black to a point. But yeah, anyway, I do mention that because I know that he's been on, I remember listening to him and Professor Black True side by side talking with Tariq Nasheed. And they sounded this. I'm like, apart from very little different, they sound the same. Anyway, let me give this. I think I'll just end it here because I got to get the dog inside. So I'll end it there. I hope y'all enjoyed that and have a good night. See you later. Bye-bye.